Shalom, shalom. Giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. Want to go over this, not going to be long. Want to go over verb and noun. Let us look at this, brothers and sisters. We have the word here, hora or hore. Now, in this particular case, we're dealing with it as a verb. All right? Hore, in this case, in the Hefeld stem, which in root means to teach. Okay. All right. So, then we have this word here, more. The word more means teacher. So what do we see so far? The verb and then the noun. What's the prefix of it with the mem there? This is a male teacher. Then we have this word here. And we can say it also as hore. Now in this case, we're not dealing with it as a verb, but as a noun. And this means parent, a male parent. Now we have this word here. Okay, and we have it as mora. The word mora meaning teacher, a female teacher. All right. Then we have here the word hora. Okay. Hora meaning female parent. So what do we see so far? Hore in root meaning to teach, the verb. More, a teacher, a male one that is. Hore, in this case treated as a noun, the male parent. Then we have mora, meaning female teacher or a teacher that's a female. Then we have hora, a parent that's a female. And we have here the word Torah, generally said as law, but the word Torah really means teaching or instruction. For instance, when you read in the book of Proverbs, and it says, forsake not the teaching of thy mother, all right? Al tishkat torat imerka. Forsake not the teaching of thy mother. So we just want to point that out. So we have a teacher, a male parent, a female teacher, a female parent. So what do we get out of this? The teachers are parents, and most definitely the parents are teachers. And what are they supposed to teach? The instructions. So just want to show how the Hebrew works in this particular case. All right, you can see that the O and the R sound is still there. The O and the R sound is still there. You may have a change with the mem or the tau or in root with the hey, but the general premise of the sound is still there. Unlike English, when teaching and instruction, those words do not sound alike. Whereas teacher and parent in English does not sound alike in root, all right, linguistically. So just want to point that out. Hebrew is easy. Get the book on Amazon. Shalom. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Not going to be long. Just want to make a video regarding the matter of the name that we say we are and can lay claim to. Giving honor and praise to the creator and the maker of heaven and earth, the most high. This is the word here, Yisrael. Now, for those who say Hebrew has no vowels, they will say this is Yashara'ala or Yashu Ra'al or Yasharal. You see it different ways said by those who say Hebrew has no vowels. And this is no disrespect intended, nonetheless. But ah is a vowel. It's a sound. What a vowel is in actuality is a written sound. So if you were to say this is Yashara Allah, you're still saying vowels with it, just saying it as ah. All right, so we just want to point that out. Now, next thing to point out with this, brothers and sisters, where we're seeing Israel, this is the Yod, the Kirik, the Sin, the Shawad, the Resh with the Kwamat, and the Lamed with the Zareh. Now, let's look at this very carefully. This Yod that you see right here, right, making a Y sound, all right, serves as a prefix. So if you were to just say this here, the Sin and the Resh, right, it comes from the root word Sarah. The word Sarah in Hebrew means to contend, all right? So we want to point that out for reference purposes. So now this Yod serves as the third person, the third person masculine, singular, future tense. Why do we want to point out, brothers and sisters, the aspect of it saying in future tense is this? Because this word here, El, right? It comes from the root word ayil. The word ayil, brothers and sisters, means to have power or to be mighty or to have strength. So that's something we want to point out in that particular regard. So what are we saying, brothers and sisters, in this particular case? Is this Yod, all right, serving as a prefix, showing the future tense of this root word here, meaning as stated to contend. And this one here, El, translated loosely by saying God, speaking of the Creator. Yisrael would mean, brothers and sisters, El, the Creator, will contend. That's what that means in that particular case. So many times brothers and sisters would say that Yisrael means Prince of the Power. In spirituality, perhaps. But if you want to talk about the aspect of literal meaning, or if you want to talk about the aspect of linguistics, as opposed to just spiritual aspect of why Jacob was given that name, this is what we want to point out in that particular case. Now, as stated, this is not going to be long. Just wanted to point this out for reason and purposes and so forth and so on. All right. We want to emphasize, as been pointed out in other videos, that Yisrael is not from Isis, Ra, and El. That's something that was purported by Masons and people of that kind of nature to try to throw people off from the truth of what it is. You understand? It is not from Isis, Ra, and El. Isis is not even an Egyptian god or goddess. That's a whole nother subject. We're not going to get too far into that particular aspect. And brothers and sisters, El, we want to talk about a little bit, if we will. All right? Let's look at that. Many times people say that El was a Canaanite deity and then say that the Israelites adopted it. Saying El, brothers and sisters, is no different than saying the quote-unquote loose term in English, God. You understand? So if somebody said God in 1604 and then somebody said God in 2004, one did not borrow it. We have to just know and understand, brothers and sisters, what the speaker or author is talking and conveying. All right? So as pointed out, this word here, El, comes from the root word, all right, Ayil, which means to be mighty or to have strength. In Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 32, you read La'el Yadeka, meaning speaking about power in your hand. All right. Now, brothers and sisters, in the scriptures, before Ham came into existence, Ham is the father of Canaan, right? You had a person named Mahalalel. All right. And you have the word El in that man's name. So that's something we want to point out in that particular regard. You have Mahalalel. Mahalalel. All right, that's in the book of Genesis. All right, that was even before, brothers and sisters, Ham even came into existence, much less Canaan. So El, identifying power, mighty, so forth and so on, was already known among the people even before the Hamite dispensation came into the earth. All right, so we just want to point that out for reason and purposes. With that, shalom.
Shalom, brothers and sisters, shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the one who sees all and is not seen, the one who judges all and is not judged. If I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, please press the number 4. If I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, please press the number 4. Brothers and sisters, this presentation is brought to you from Danitepublications, and we do not profess to know everything and are open, brothers and sisters, to constructive criticism. Thank you, my brother Bergen Paris, and pressing the number 4. The way I have it set up for those who may be interested is one microphone is used for history lessons, a different microphone for Hebrew lessons. So just wanted to see how that will work in that particular manner. Again, we hope and pray that everybody is well and will be better. I can be reached at the number there at 908-587-4841. We ask you all to take screenshots as well, brothers and sisters, as going into the matter of this. And what do we mean by this? Hebrew is easy, as been pointed out several times. Hebrew is different, but it is not difficult. So now we are on the platforms More Yeshaya Hebrew lessons, More Yeshaya Torah lessons, and More Yeshaya Old Testament. 3 different platforms to convey a message regarding the language. Some months ago, we did a presentation called Wayisu Wayakanu, and we only, with the timing allotted, was able to work on one of those 2 words. That is the Wayisu, from the word Nasa, essentially meaning to journey in that particular case. So now we want to continue in that manner, but going over the second word, Wayakanu comes from the word Khanah. The word Khanah means to encamp, brothers and sisters. So let us, as we continue in this particular matter, brothers and sisters, get into a song and then pull up the PowerPoint. Thank you for the time.
Where there is peace, there is love. Where there is peace, ooh, you know there is love. All things come from Yahweh. All things come from Yahweh. Where there is
Shalom. Shalom again, brothers and sisters. How's everybody doing? Again, we are on the platforms of Mordeh Yeshaya Old Testament, Mordeh Yeshaya Hebrew lessons, and Mordeh Yeshaya Torah lessons. And again, we hope and pray that everybody is well and will be better. In this, brothers and sisters, we intend to get into the Hebrew word Khanah, and screenshots are welcome. We are going to pull up the PowerPoint now, brothers and sisters, for such. Thank you for the time. Okay, so what we're going to do here is stop screen, share screen in this particular matter. Pull this up there in this manner. Sorry, entire screen first. And go about it this way. And it should show up saying Hebrew classes are available. Okay, it's not saying that. So that means, sorry about that interruption. Let me sit there and do this again differently. Stop screen. Sorry about the timing, family. Share screen. Go to the entire screen. Pull this up. In this manner here. Then go here. Slideshow from beginning, and let's see if it comes up through this way. And it does. All right. Hebrew classes are available. You can call me Yeshaya. That is at 908-587-4841. You can call or text brothers and sisters in this particular matter. Again, that is 908-587-4841. All right. Thank you for that, family. To encamp. The word Khannah. In this presentation, we will speak on the Hebrew of the word encamp and how the lingual matters in Hebrew work with verbs that are deemed, quote, irregular and a plural of nouns and doubles. I'll explain what I mean as we go along. Thank you, brother, for pressing the number 4. We hope and pray that everyone is well and will be better. In the presentation, the Hebrew taught is based in biblical Hebrew. We ask you to check the description regarding what is Hebrew and what is Yiddish. We are open to constructive criticism also. So, brothers and sisters, one of the things we care to point out is that quote, even modern Hebrew is not, in truth, Yiddish. So that's something we care to bring out and point out for reference purposes. All right. So let us continue in this manner. The word Khannah, it says, is a lamed hey verb. This is because it ends with the letter hey. Now, brothers and sisters, what we're going to do is remembering that Hebrew is read from right to left, right? If we go here with the pen, right, the letter hey is shown here. Any verb, brothers and sisters, that ends with the letter hey is deemed a lamed hey verb. The literal meaning of Khannah is he encamped. Now, when we go in the Bible in 1 Samuel 26, verse 5, we see this. And David arose and came to the place where Saul had pitched. And David beheld the place where Saul lay. And Abner, the son of Ner, the captain of the host, and Saul lay within the barricade, and the people pitched round about him. All right, so let's look at this, brothers and sisters, in this particular matter. If we were to go to 1 Samuel chapter 20, 6, verse 5. What do we see in this particular case? Thank you for that, family. All right. First Samuel. And here we won't be using the King James Version. We'll be using the Hebrew English Version. All right. Thank you for that. And here is what we read in verse 5, brothers and sisters, right? Wayaquam, we're going to show as it goes in the blue. Wayaquam Dawid. Wayabo El Hamaquam. Ashel Khannah Sham Shaul. That's what we wanted to talk about in this particular case. The word that we see right here, brothers and sisters, the word Khannah, where it said about the matter of Saul had pitched, encamped, where he pitched, where he stayed in that particular matter, right? So that's the word we want to in that particular case, shown in the blue there highlighted. Then it says, Wayar Dawid et Hamakom Ashel Shakab Sham Shaul, the place which Saul laid there. Wa Abner ben Ner Sar Zibao wa Shaul Shokab ba Magal wa Ha'am Konim Sabibo Taiwa. So what are we reading in this particular case? We want to point out, brothers and sisters, the matter here, konim. So here we see, brothers and sisters, the word Khannah, which means to encamp or to abide. And then we see it's plural in the same verse, believe it or not, which is the word konim. All right. So that's something we care to bring out for reference purposes. Are there any questions? Please feel free to put within the chat. Thank you for that. The word wakaniti. Wakaniti. We must always remember that Hebrew goes from right to left. A verb shown in a conjugated matter in the first person masculine / feminine. Anytime something is a verb that is shown in the first person, I whatever, I willed whatever, I did whatever, is always either masculine or feminine. There is no separation in the word pronunciation between males and females in the first person or in the matter of the third person in the past tense, but we'll expound upon that later on. All right. Now, what do we mean when we say first person is I, second person is you, third person is he? All right. So that's what we want to point out. And we also have the plurals of such. First person plural is we. Second person plural is you. Or third person plural is they. So that's something we can bring out in chapter 29, verse 3. It says, and I will encamp against thee round about, and will lay siege against thee with a mound, and I will raise siege works against thee. So now when we go, brothers and sisters, in Isaiah chapter 29, in the Hebrew, verse 3, let's see what we can ascertain. Thank you for that. Isaiah 29 in the Hebrew, and let's see what it says in that particular case. Thank you for that. It says in the Hebrew, Wakaniti kadur alayik, meaning concerning you, alayik. Wazarati alayik muzab, Wahakwimoti alayik mitzurot. So now let's look at this, family. The word we want to focus on is this word here, wachaniti. Now, what do we see and ascertain in this particular one? Right? It says a verb shown in the conjugated matter in the first person masculine side feminine. This is also in a while consecutive matter. What do we mean by that? Do you see, remember in Hebrew goes right to left? If you were to bold that, not bold it, if you were to drop color that in the background as yellow, or better yet, red, that while showing in the beginning, brothers and sisters, is showing that verb to be under what's called the while consecutive. And in that particular matter, what happens in biblical Hebrew is the past tense word normally, as such, becomes the future tense. And the normal future tense becomes the past tense. So now when we look, brothers and sisters, in this particular matter, right? Wanting to show in this manner, right? We'll begin to see that this word kaniti, the ket, the noon, the yod, the tau, and the yod is conjugated in the first person past tense, which could be in male or female when we're speaking as humans, right? Now, let's look at this here, brothers and sisters, right? And I kept that word here up here for a reason. The word Khannah is a Lameti verb ending with the letter hey, thus making it as such. Now, when you conjugate that, the hey drops out and the yod that we're going to show, bold, not bold, bold, not bold, and we're going to enlarge it. That yod, brothers and sisters, takes the place of a hey when you're showing it in the matter of it being conjugated in its first person, second person, third person singular. When you're doing it first person and second person singular. Kaniti, kanita, kanit. That is to say, I encamped, you encamped feminine. All right. So these are things we care to bring out for reference purposes. All right. Now, let's continue in this manner, dealing with the word Khannah and how it works within the scriptures. Thank you for the time. And the children of Israel shall pitch their tents, every man with his own camp, and every man with his own standard according to their host. Now let's look. It says in the Hebrew here, Wachanu. Now this wow, brothers and sisters, we want to show here in the red, brothers and sisters, serves as a matter of a prefix. So the word we focusing on, brothers and sisters, is the word kanu. All right? We're going to show it bold, not bold, bold, not bold. All right? And we want to enlarge it in this particular manner. The word kanu means they encamped. But as we've been pointing out, with that prefix of while in biblical Hebrew shown in the red, that normal past tense word becomes in the future. Thus, we see the children of Israel shall pitch or shall encamp. You understand? So again, these are things that we care to bring out for reference purposes. Now, if we go to Numbers chapter 1, verse 52, we can see more in part of what we're talking about. All right? Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 52. Thank you, family. All right? Numbers 1. Hebrew Mekon. Matter. And let's see what we can ascertain. And in 1 verse 52, we see the following. Right? Wakanu. Bnei Yisrael, and the children of Israel, they shall encamp. Ish al machanehu, each man with his own camp or concerning his own camp. With each al diglo, and each man based on his standard. Degel meaning flag, diglo, brothers and sisters, meaning his flag or his standard, right? Lazib Otam, according to his armies, according to their hosts, according to their armies. The word Zabah, we want to emphasize the Zadeh, the Bet, and the Aleph. Brothers and sisters means host or army. All right. So now let's look, if we will. Right. Wakanu is the word we're focusing on in this say particular case, and what we're looking at and what we're seeing. Because it comes from the root word Khanah, which means to encamp. This is the third person, and normally it's past tense, but we see shall here in the English, shown there in the blue, because of what happens when the waw consecutive, also called in Hebrew as the waw hakipuk, works within biblical Hebrew, where the future tense normally word becomes past tense, and the past tense normally word becomes future. All right? So let us, brothers and sisters, continue in this particular manner, if we will. All right. Thank you for that. Let's pull this back up. Okay. This should be shown in a second. PowerPoint again. Thank you. Yes. The word Takhanu, speak unto the children of Israel that they turn back and encamp before Pihakirot, between Migdal and the sea, before Baal Zephon, over against it shall ye encamp by the sea. Now, the word Takhanu, we're going to focus on in this case, right? It says it's a verb that is conjugated in the future tense. This is in the second person masculine plural. Second person is you, whatever, you, but in plural and in the future tense. Now, there is, in this particular case, no vowel consecutive. That's why when we show it in Exodus chapter 14, verse 2, we're not going to see such. So let's go there, we will. Go to Exodus chapter 14, verse 2, and let's see what we can see in that particular case. All right? Exodus 14. Verse 2. It says in the Hebrew, Dabel el bnei Yisrael, speak unto the children of Israel. Wayashubu, wayakanu, lifnei pi ha. Sorry about that. Speak unto the children of Israel. Wayashubu, and they shall turn, and they shall return. Wayakanu, and they shall encamp. Lifnei Pihakirot, before Pihakirot. The word kirot comes from the word kira, which means mighty. So Pihakirot in Hebrew, sidebar, means like the mouth of the mighty one. Bein Migdal, between Migdal, Ubein Hayam, and between the sea. Lifnei Baal Zephon, before Baal Zephon. Nikho Takanu al Hayam. So let's look at this, brothers and sisters. We want to focus on this word here, Takanu, shown in the blue there. Now, we have stated that the word Khannah means to encamp, and the word Hanu by itself, which means they encamped in the past tense, third person. All right. Now, this word here, Takhanu, we notice that there is a tau before the ket. The ket is the first letter in this particular root word, Khannah. Now, in the future tense, we know that the prefixes are shown to show the future tense of such. So that's something we want to point out. So what this new oop sound does, brothers and sisters, is it shows that it's plural in this particular matter. All right. So these are things that we care to bring out for reference purposes. All right. Thank you for putting in the verses, my brother Bergen. So now let us get back, if we will, brothers and sisters, in this particular matter. Right. And let's continue. The word Wayakhanu, speak unto the children of Israel that they turn back and encamp before Piakirot. Now, this is the same verse that we just went over. Brothers and sisters, a verb shown in a future tense. This is in the third person masculine plural. This is also in the while consecutive. Now, the word we went right over before called takanu, which we see here, there is no while consecutive. This word, wayachanu, does have the while as a prefix in this particular case. Bold, not bold. Bold, not bold. If we see it dropped color in the red, I want to do that if we will. Right? I want to show the wow in the red there. So now we have the word yakanu. And if we were to drop color that in the green, what then? Sorry about that, my family. Can we see in this particular case? If you were to get rid of the wow, you would have the word yakanu. And if you got rid of the yod, you would have the word kanu. And brothers and sisters, we remember that because the word Khannah is a lamed hey verb, in that it ends with the letter hey, it drops out when you conjugate it in the third person matter in the past tense and in the future tense. All right. So now let's look. This yod, brothers and sisters, that we see here, right? Bold, not bold, bold, not bold. And we can drop color that in yellow. That, brothers and sisters, shows it to be a future tense matter. Now, the wow that we see at the end after the noon, brothers and sisters, shows that word to be in the plural matter. So now when we start talking about matters of getting things together within the language and so forth, this is one of the things, in no disrespect, that we intend and want to do, if we can and if we will. And again, I am open, brothers and sisters, to constructive criticism. All right? Now I want to show the wow there in the purple. Now, no, it's a little colorful. So now that wow that you see there in the purple serves as a suffix, brothers and sisters, showing that word to be plural. The yod shown there, brothers and sisters, in the yellow shows it to be a matter of it being in the future tense. All right. And that wow there is a prefix showing it to be the word and. In Hebrew, and a man, and a woman, and a goat, and a cow. The word and is connected to the word that it shows the conjunction with. It's not like wa para and a cow. It would be wa para and a cow. Whereas in English, and is separated from that word and a cow, if we get what we're saying. So if any questions or comments on what we're talking about, please feel free at 908-587-4841. And we're going to enlarge this, brothers and sisters, in this particular matter. All right? So let's look. The word Khanah, if we will. And the angel of God who went before the camp of Israel removed and went behind them. And a pillar of cloud removed from before them and stood behind them. So let's look. Khanah. this particular word here. Let's show this there like that. Okay, cool. And the mem, we just going to leave the mem as is, but we do want to enlarge this. All right. Now, this is the word here, makane. All right. The word makane means camp, brothers and sisters. All right. For those who are interested, a word that is in a matter of being a noun. When a mem is put, in front of many verbs, the word becomes a noun. Now let's go scripturally to Exodus chapter 14, verse 9. And let's see what it says. Did I get it right? Exodus 14, verse 9. Okay, I made a mistake in that manner. Totally apologize. Brothers and sisters. Be right back. Can I be heard, family? Press the number 4 for me, if I can be heard. The mistake that I made is citing what I thought was in Exodus 14, verse 9. But I'm going to go and see exactly where I was citing from. I'm only human. So if I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, please again press the number 4. Thank you for that. Thank you, my brother Bergen, for doing so. All right. So, it's not verse 9. Sorry about that, family. It's verse 19. I forgot that part. I'm so sorry, family, for that. Please forgive me. I meant to say, let's go to Exodus 14, verse 19, not verse 9. It says here, and the angel of God who went before the camp of Israel removed and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud removed from before them and stood behind them. All right. So let's look in the Hebrew, and it says this: Vayisa mal'aka Elohim. And the angel of the Most High, he traveled, he went on Haholek lifnei machane Yisrael, that goeth lifnei before machane Yisrael, the camp of Israel. Vayelek me'akarehem, and he went from after them, from behind them. Vayisa amud he'anan, and the pillar of the cloud, amud meaning pillar, he'anan, and the pillar of the cloud, it says Vayisa, from the word nasa, to travel. Correct? Okay. Now this happens to be part of the while consecutive, but let's move on. Mipnehem, from before them. Panay, face or presence, or that which is before. Hem, meaning them or there, depends on how you're using it. Brothers and sisters. Vaya'amod me'akarehem. And speaking of the pillar of cloud, it says Vaya'amod, and he stood. Me'akarehem, from behind them. So what do we want to point out, brothers and sisters, now, honestly, is this word here, the word makane. Because now when you get to the word Khannah, meaning to encamp, the word for a camp itself, the noun, is the word makane. All right, so I just wanted to point that out in that particular regard. So let's continue. If there's any questions, please feel free to put it into the chat. And again, my mistake for keeping it at verse 9 when it should have been corrected already. All right, my fault for that. The word Machanayim. And Jacob said when he saw them, this is God's camp. And he called the name of that place Machanayim. Machanayim, a word means two camps. In Hebrew, when we hear ayim, we want to show that. Bold, not bold. In a matter, the meaning is double what the word is. Let me give an example. The Hebrew word for sock that you put on your feet is garab, and garabayim means socks. Your eye that you see with in Hebrew is the word ayin, and in the Hebrew it is the word einayim for eyes. Nakir, nostril, nakirayim for nostrils. Ozen, ear, aznayim, ears. Safa, lip, safatayim, lips, because it's double plural. So now Joseph's son, who was named Ephraim, means doubly fruitful. You understand? So we can gain understanding of what we're talking about. I am going to propose that one does a presentation on the meaning of the children of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, so we can gain understanding of what we're talking about. We have videos already about the meaning of the 12 tribes of Israel, the direct sons of Jacob, but we want to do a translation presentation about the names of the sons of Joseph. All right, so let's go on and look at this here. All right, Machanayim means two camps. Now we go into Hebrew in the book of Genesis chapter 32, verse 3, right? Let's see what it says. Genesis chapter 32. And here's what it says, brothers and sisters. Wayomer Yaakov ka'asher ra'am makane Elohim ze. Wayikra shem hamakom hahu Machanayim. And Jacob said when he saw them, Wayomer Yaakov, and Jacob he said, Ka'asher, when Ra'am. This word here, Ra'am, means literally he saw them. This memsofit serves as a suffix meaning them. And the word Ra'a is a verb meaning in Hebrew to see. So when you reading this here and you just see Ra'am, this in this case means he saw them. Literally in that particular case. All right. Makane Elohim ze. This is the camp of God. Wayikra shem hamakom hahu Machanayim. The word again, Machanayim, means two camps. All right. So if there's any questions or comments concerning what we're talking about, please feel free to have put it into the chat, brothers and sisters. All right. Thank you for your time. Chat, brothers and sisters. All right, thank you for your time. You can be on any platform right now or later on when watching this, but you chose to watch now or later, which is definitely appreciated. We are on the platforms More Yeshaya Torah lessons, More Yeshaya Hebrew lessons, and More Yeshaya Old Testament. We ask you all to comment, to like, to share, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. All right. Again, Hebrew classes are available. We deal with the matter basically in biblical Hebrew. In that particular case, the word Khannah you see there, Khannah you see there. Wachaniti was expounded upon. Wachanu was expounded upon. Takanu was expounded upon. Wayachanu was expounded upon. Makane was expounded upon. And Machanayim was expounded upon. So brothers and sisters, again, we here at Danitepublications do not profess to know everything, and we are open, brothers and sisters, to constructive criticism. Thank you.